Hey everybody, today we're going to take a look at this, the Apache tank by Kepler, right here on my vaping place. Hey everybody, Joe here. Nice of you to join me today. Thanks for coming. Alright, what we're going to be taking a look at today is this, the Apache tank by Kepler. It is an original tank by a company over in China. I'll show you more about the box and everything else when we get down onto the build deck. This is not a small tank, this is a large tank. It is 10 milliliters in capacity, it is 25 millimeters in diameter, and it is 72.6 millimeters in height, including the drip tip, which you cannot remove in any way, shape, or form. It is an integral part of the tank. So what we're going to do is, without too much further ado, we're going to go down to the build deck and we're going to take a look at this thing. Okay? This is going to be a relatively short video compared to some of my videos, and a lot of people are going to be shocked by the brevity of it, but there's not really much to talk about on this tank. I didn't do any coiling in the build cam footage because the coils that were in there were perfectly good and they're absolutely working fine. And besides, you know how to, you should by now, if you've seen other videos on my channel here, know how to build a velocity style deck, which is what this thing has. But, well, we'll get more into it when we get down to the build deck. So, without further ado, I'll meet you down below decks. Okay, folks, here we are down on the build deck. We're going to be taking a look at this today, the Apache tank by Kepler. This is a rebuildable tank atomizer. It is a dual coil only tank. I've got this from Vape Northwest for the astonishing sum of, oh my God, hold on to your hats, $9.99. Okay, so this is the front of the box. That's the side of the box with the company's web page, CE marks, web page again, Apache tank by Kepler on the back, nada. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a really large, we're talking large, rebuildable tank atomizer. It has two very large air holes down here on the base, which are fully adjustable, continuously adjustable, as you can see. All right, two nice big Cylon air holes. It has four, as you can see them in here, 1, 2, 3, and 4 juice flow holes. This does not have a juice flow control. All your juice flow control is done by the wicking that you're going to do with this. Okay, it is a top filler. You access the top by turning the drip tip, which is a part of the top, just like so, and then removing same. As you can see, it is hinged, so it just pops right back. You have two nice, very large kidney-shaped juice holes in here that takes everything from a needle nose all the way up to a 30 mil dripper pipette. Okay, close this up like so, turn it roughly a quarter of a turn, it locks into place, bada bing. Now, because this does not have a juice flow control on it, I have one major issue with this thing. If you don't get your wicking done absolutely right, spot bang on, this thing will flood, and it will flood like crazy. Okay, you cannot take this thing off, cannot take the build deck off of the rest of the tank while it has juice in it, because these two nice big beefy O-rings that you see in there, well, they hold the glass on very well, and the threading that's on here, well, yeah, it turns around and it's not the greatest, but you know, hey, $9.99, what do you expect? But this is really a good tank. And this is an original design by the company called Kepler. And that's your bottom. As you can see, it does stick out quite a bit. So yeah, you could very well use this on a hybrid mech mod. So yeah, it has cooling fins here, which do work very well. My other major issue with this tank is that this drip tip should not come off. Yeah, this is permanently milled into the top of the tank here. It spins. It's permanently connected with this, with the inside locking mechanism for the refill. And yeah, it don't come off. And the inside diameter of this is large enough that none of the drip tips that I have, which are all 510 drip tips, can fit in there. This is much, much larger. I'm sure there may be some other drip tips out there that will fit in here, but I sure as heck ain't got one. So that's what you're looking at there. All right, so let's take this thing apart. It does break down completely for easy cleaning. You remove the top like so. And yes, this does come off like that. That's the inside of your atomization chamber. It is very, ever so slightly domed. Not much at all. So this is, for all intents and purposes, damn near a flat top tank. The flavor that it produces is rather good. I was very pleasantly surprised with it. It produces a lot of flavor and a lot of clouds, but the flavor is muted, and that's probably because of the long chimney here, which is what gives this thing its, I think it's like 8.5, 9 mils of juice that this thing has a capacity for. As you can see here, it has some rather large juice wells. And yeah, I left the coils in here because the coils are perfectly good. I wasn't going to turn around, take them out, and waste a perfectly good set of coils. These are 3.5 millimeter inside diameter stainless steel 316L, 14 wraps around the 3.5 millimeter. It comes out to just under 1 ohm, and that would mean that each one of these coils is approximately just under 2 ohms. All right. As you can see, you got the double O-rings there. I'll bring this up so you can see it a little bit better. Hopefully this thing will focus. All right, let's bring this focus in a little bit here so we can try and make this a little bit clearer. There we go. There we go. 14 wraps, like I said, around a 3.5 millimeter inside diameter. This tank cannot be wicked single coil. It has no provisions for stopping off the airflow or the juice flow control, the juice flow wells here. You have no choice. You have to do this in 2 coils. This is your standard velocity deck, and I wasn't going to go around showing you yet again how to do a velocity deck. If you want to see that, I've got it in another couple of other reviews that I've done. So that's, I just figured I'd leave these coils in here. Let you see what it looks like. That's what she looks like in there. That's how it's supposed to look. Let's see there, just even with the top of the posts. So, okay. What we're going to do now is I'm going to put this in here. Oh, before I forget, yeah, you get the extra glass tank here. The extra bag of goodies that you get in here is a standard Allen key. You get 2 extra coils in here. They're spaced coils, simple wire coils. Canthol, it looks like, and they ohm out to be about 1 ohm each. You get 4 additional grub screws in here and a mess of O-rings for complete set of O-rings for all of the seals that are in here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Yeah, who's the stupid idiot who forgot to turn his damn phone off and then wound up getting a call from the township on one of their blast messages to turn around and tell them that there's something special going on in town hall tomorrow morning. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, at least one good thing. When I came back on, I turned around and I realized that I still had the focus thrown out from having it up so close, so I was able to make that adjustment and not blow quite a bit of video in the process. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get this stuff out of the way here. So this way we can clear up some of the... Need the scissors over here. Yeah. Feel like a bloody idiot. All right, let's get this thing put to one side there. All right, and I already got my cotton cut here. So at least I didn't waste some cotton. So at least that's one good thing. So let's get the hard outer shell of this cotton off of here, and then we cut our little arrowheads like so, and we tease this out just a little bit to make sure that it wicks a little, just a touch better. And let's make a nice little... I never was good at rolling dupes. What can I tell you? Even when I rolled my own tobacco cigarettes, I used the pre-made tubes. Yeah, I kind of cheated because I like the filters. What can I tell you? So I'm going to feed that. Let me just make sure this is on camera here so I'm not doing this way off camera. Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so let's just hack off this pointy piece here, since we're not going to need that. And let's do the same thing for the other side over here. Whoa. Way too much cotton coming off there. Yeah, this thing here, you have to wick this thing almost to the point where you think you're choking off all of the juice flow. Because otherwise, if you don't, it's going to leak like a sieve all over the place. I did one wicking on a set of coils. I think it was the 0.5 ohm coils that I put in here, and I thought it was working fine. It was flowing fine. I put it down, went to the bathroom, came back, and the whole tank of juice was all over my desk. It was all over the mod, every place. I mean, it was a bloody freaking mess. So yeah, if you think you're choking off the juice, you probably got the right amount of wicking. If you think you're doing it right and it's not going to be an issue and you won't get any dry hits and all that stuff, you probably haven't got enough wicking in there. Okay, that's pretty good. So we're going to snip this off. Now, as I said, you need to turn around, you need to wick this thing as if you're going to want to choke this thing off. So what I do is I take this and I cut this right about where the O-rings are. Just like so. And I get one, then I can do the other one. Okay, let's get this side over here. Ooh, that's almost perfect. Almost perfect. Not quite. So we're going to have to trim just a little tad bit off there. And that's not right. I want that even. There you go. Then we're going to trim off here. There you go. Yeah. If this thing looks like it's going to, you think it's going to get choked, you're probably about right. Because otherwise, this thing is going to go all over the place. And the secret to making sure that when you do put it in there with all that cotton, make sure you fluff this thing out like crazy. Okay? So I'm going to put that in there like that. I'm going to move that down. And yeah, let's get the seb out here. And juice these little things up. I'm not juicing these things up to pre-juice them or get them all soaking so it makes it easier. No, I'm doing this basically for cotton control. You see, cotton is a lot easier to handle and to place in its proper place when it's wet. Not gobsopping wet, but just wet enough that you can place it in. There we go. Pretty much like that. Yeah. Excuse me. Weather's starting to change. Joey's sinuses are starting to run like Niagara Falls during spring runoff. Now, once you get these things to the right to the right depth, this thing's going to wick like a son of a gun. But the problem is getting this at the right level. You want this thing the wicks just touching that deck. Just kind of sort of like that. And you want to press these in here a little bit. Not much. You don't want to go ramming them in. You want to just get them in there so that way they're sitting in there ever so genteelly. That one's got to get trimmed just a touch. Needs just a little bit of a snip trim. Yeah, there we go. So, this is the time-consuming part on this particular tank. There are a couple of other tanks, I forget which ones they are, that have decks very, very similar to this. This is the first deck that I've actually done that's like this. And I know there's a couple of other RTAs out there that have decks very similar to this. And I've seen the reviews, but I haven't actually had to do a wick job on them. So it kind of sort of doesn't stick in the mind, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that needs to get evened off just a little bit more. Just a touch. Kind of sort of like that. And fluff out these ends. Like so. Bada bing. And then we bring this down like this. In there like so. There we go. Just like that. Yeah, not bad. That's looking pretty good. Let's see if we can get this one done. This one's going to need a little bit of a trim job too. Hope I didn't take too much off that thing. Oh no. Hopefully, no. Oh, whew. Man, I was starting to worry there. Okay. Bring that in there like that. Like so. That's the way she's supposed to look. Just like that. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad if I say so myself. And I do, of course. So let's get this on here. is where the playing comes in. Do, 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 do. Here we go. And we get that. Oh, come on. Don't cross thread on me now. Manage. There we go. And put that in there like that. Like so. Like so. Like so. That one's going to be a bit of a problem, I think. No, that's not going to be a bit of a problem. That's not going to be a problem at all. And we just bring this down completely until it's fully seated. Take a little of the extra cotton here and dab off some of this excess. Come on. And just make sure. There you go. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. Okay. I put this thing back on autofocus. Alright. You see that? See how those things... Yeah, it looks like the wicking holes are crammed full of cotton. Okay? It looks like this thing is going to wind up choking. But this tank needs to have that done. Okay, I've tried it. God, how I've tried it. I've tried doing it the other way where it's just a tiny little bit where the juice goes in there and the wicks are just dangling into it so genteelly that they're just barely brushing the juice and it floods like a mother. Okay? Yeah. So, okay. All right. Let's put this thing together. Get up topside and vapor. So, put this in here like so. And screw this down. These O-rings are the tightest O-rings I've ever seen in my life. Which is good. I'm not faulting it for having tight O-rings. I'd rather have it not have tight O-ring. I'd rather have it tight I'd rather have it to have tight O-rings than not. Because this way it's one less issue with juice and everything else. This thing's got enough issues with juice as it is. Alright. Let's put some juice in here. I'm not going to fill this thing up completely because when I'm through with this review, this thing is going to go back in its box and it's going to sit on the shelf for a while. Because, like I said, I'm not a big fan. So, alright. Yes, this is the Lux that you're seeing here. This will be coming up for review in, maybe 3 weeks. 3-4 weeks, something like that. I try to put out... I'm not like other guys where you can get 2 and 3 reviews a day. 1 a week is about the most that I can wind up handling. 35 watts, 0.88 ohms. Let's just double check. 0.837 ohms. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Produces the clouds. Flavor? Not so much. But the clouds are good. Now if it didn't leak so damn badly. Alright, let's get back up topside and discuss this little girl a little bit more and let you get out of here. Alright? See you topside. Hey everybody. Nice to see you back up here again. Okay. Apache tank by Kepler. Now, this is a really nice little tank once you get the wicking right. It's taken me a few minutes to get this thing set back up again from being over here at the build deck with audio and everything else. And also I had to readjust the lighting because I put in a couple of new daylight bulbs in here to get a more of a daylight type of effect in here and see how that was going to come out. Well, as you can see, I'm coming out looking a little bit too pink here. So, I don't know. I guess I might have to go back to the soft whites the way I was using before. I don't know. But the Apache tank. Yes, this is the Lux that you're seeing here. This came in just this past week, and it'll be coming up for review in a little bit. Yes, those are purple E-Fests. Let me lower the mic down here a little bit so that way you get a better audio level. Push that up a little so it doesn't bother anybody too much. As to the Apache, this thing's got a couple of cons. One is the wicking. If you don't get the wicking exactly spot on right, you're going to have nothing but problems. And I think my system is lagging here a little bit. Hello, test. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. If you don't get it right, this is going to flood all over the place on you like crazy. If you don't get it right and you put in too much cotton, it's going to choke it off. I have not had a problem with this thing choking on me so much as it flooding. Like I said on the build deck, I did try to wick this thing with just a little bit of cotton showing and stuff like that, and well, it was a bitch. It flooded all over the place on me like you don't want to believe. I lost a whole 10 mil tank of juice out of this thing when I turned around all over my mod. It was a major mess to clean up. Not only that, but also my desk as well. I'm still finding spots around here where there's juice on the desk. But my other con is this drip tip. You cannot change it. And if you start chain vaping on this thing is going to get hot. It also is a noisy little bugger. That's the first puff. This thing usually acts like this with when you do it. The first puff is a little bit anemic, but after that, once she starts heating up, she really chucks some clouds. And because of the big wide airflow on this thing, you can really get some clouds. But the flavor, yet again, is sacrificed on here. Because this doesn't have a really well-domed tank, atomization chamber in here. It really turns around and the flavor suffers. Between that and the airflow, this is not a flavor chaser. This is a cloud chaser. And with just about a 1 ohm coil in here between the two coils, yeah. I've tried this thing with a 0.5 ohm. I've tried it with a 0.6 ohm. I tried it with a 0.8 ohm, and the one that gives me the best flavor and the best cloud balance is, believe it or not, just under 1 ohm, 9 and a little bit of change. For the price, you can't beat it. It's a nice tank. It's a good tank. It's nothing to go batshit crazy over. It gives you a lot of juice. You will fill this thing up and it will last you a good 4 or 5 hours. If you're heavily vaping on it, it'll last you a good day if you're not turning around and if you're not sucking on it all the time. But the major problem this thing has is the wicking. You have to, if you think that you're choking it off, you pretty much got it right. If you think that you've got it right and you've got the right balance between just a little bit of wicking there and just enough of a juice flow there, it's going to flood on you. It's going to flood like a son of a gun. Okay? So, yeah, once you get the wicking right, if you can put up with a fixed drip tip that does get a little bit warm when you start chain vaping on it, and flavor that's like mezza, it's a good tank. If you've got a very tight budget, then I would suggest you get this tank and use it until you can get something better. But if you can afford something better, by all means. It was cheap. It looked like a decent tank. I like the fact that it has the flip top juice filling on here. Excuse me. A little bit of a head cold working on me. Yeah. That's all I got to say about it. So, the best I can give this thing is a neutral thumbs on this thing. You know, if you like a lot of airflow, you could actually snorkel with this thing. This thing's got that much airflow. If you don't mind the juice all over the place, if you don't mind a hot drip tip, and then by all means, this is your tank. If you're like a cooler vape like I do, the juice capacity is great. That's it. Like I said, the best that I can give this thing is a neutral thumbs because it's got equally about as many cons as it's got good points. This is a good tank to learn your wicking on. Just as long as you got enough juice that you're willing to sacrifice if things go bad. And if you don't mind getting your nice brand new mod and everything else all juicy. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. It's not a great tank. It's not a bad tank. It's a tank, and it's got its issues. So that's about all I've got. Thanks guys for stopping by. Yeah, this is going to be one of those. This is going to be an extremely short video, and that's it. Let me know what you think about the lighting. Let me know what you think. I'm really trying to dial this thing in and hopefully, you know, maybe get something halfway decent here. So, once again, thanks for joining me. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. May the Lord hold you in the hollow of his hand, and may you be in heaven a half an hour before the devil knows you did. Take care, guys. Best of luck. Bye-bye now.